Well, talk about a big improvement over the last one. What's going on, guys? This is Joshua, Future Filmmaker 3940 Reviews, where I talk movies, TV, and music. If you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to like this video and comment down on this video, and be sure to like this video because it does help with the algorithm going on YouTube. And be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when videos like this are coming, as well as live streams. Otherwise, you won't get notifications to anything here. But without further ado, let's get into it. Today, I'm finally getting to talk about one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and that is The Suicide Squad, which is the sequel and standalone reboot based on the DC Comics team Suicide Squad. This is written and directed by James Gunn. This is the 10th or 11th movie in the DC Cinematic Universe if you choose to count the 2017 Justice League movie, which there are 11 movies that have come out, and if you choose to count it, this is the 11th movie in the DCEU. This is written and directed by yours truly, James Gunn, who's gave us stuff such as the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Slither, Super, and also produced Brightburn, and stars a cast of Idris Elba, John Cena, Joel Kinnaman, Sylvester Stallone, Daniela Melchior, David Dastmalchian, Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Peter Capaldi, and Margot Robbie. Before I go any further, this is going to be a non-spoiler review, so if you don't want any spoilers, you are completely safe. I will be doing a spoiler discussion on the film with my friends once we've all seen the movie on the 5 Geeks podcast channel, so be on the lookout for that very soon. The government sends the most dangerous supervillains in the world, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, King Shark, and others, to the remote, enemy-infused island of Corto Maltese. Armed with high-tech weapons, they trek through the dangerous jungle on the search and destroy mission with only Colonial Rick Flag on the ground to make them behave, and they have to stop Project Starfish. When it comes to The Suicide Squad, as I said, this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. James Gunn is a very great filmmaker, and we all know the whole situation with him and James Gunn. During writing the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, he got fired from Disney, and while he was in that time, he was able to do The Suicide Squad, this movie, and DC just immediately said, come on over in DC and make a movie for us. But now he's back on with Guardians of the Galaxy, and James Gunn is a very weird but very awesome filmmaker. He makes a lot of great stuff, and he's not made a single bad movie. He knows what you want from a superhero movie, and he knows how to handle unknown ensembles. And when it comes to the first Suicide Squad movie directed by David Ayer in 2016, which he has constantly said that version is not his cut, and I seriously doubt we will get his cut. With the 2016 movie, I don't hate it like a lot of people do. It's not one of the worst things ever, but it's not as great as I made it out to be 5 years ago. At the very best, it is mixed at best. I like the acting, I like the characters, and I like the story and soundtrack choices. And when you watch it in the background, it is good background noise. But when you really look at this is a bit of a mess, considering the fact that all the production troubles that went through with the first movie. So going into this movie with James Gunn, I was excited because he knows how to handle ensembles, and just the cast alone, from the trailers alone, I was very excited. And not only the trailers of James Gunn, this was also made to be a rated R film, which is, I thought, something that the original film desperately lacks. I'm not putting down David Ayer. I'm not gonna do it here. So if you expected me to say anything bad about David Ayer, no, ain't gonna happen. Also, the cast involved with this movie is a big ensemble cast. You have familiar faces, then you have new faces on the block, and then the characters that he was gonna be using. So I was really interested to see what he does, and so I watched it a day early, August the 5th, and I have to tell you, not only I loved this one better than the first movie, but I do think this is a big step in the right direction for the Suicide Squad. This is a big improvement over the first film, and in so many ways, this movie works in a lot of ways. In the positives, we do have to talk about James Gunn's writing and directing. His direction of writing, this guy, he never fails in terms of writing and directing. He knows exactly what he's doing in front of a camera. He knows how to shoot emotion. He knows how to get characterization, and he knows how to make a film. And the decision that he makes to not only focus on this group of characters, no matter how large or how small some of them are, he makes you care about the characters in an emotional and fully fledged way without it ever being too expository. It doesn't feel heavily expository. It doesn't feel like we're just stopping the movie for character development. It feels just right, and it feels very good, natural. And James Gunn, he did a great job here. He does a great job with directing in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and all his other movies as well. He's very weird, he's very out there, and he takes this obscure set of characters and make them entertaining. And not only make them entertaining, but make them likable. Do great usage of the way he does character development. And also the story this time around, I felt was a lot better than the first movie. It's very simple for what I want. It's just a task force of convicts doing a mission, and you get the sense that any one of these guys could die. So this movie does not hold back on what it's set out to do. And when people die in this movie, which has got to lead me to the R rating. This movie definitely deserves that rated R. This is no bones, balls to the wall, bonkers, crazy, pretty intense, and the movie does not hold back. When people die in this movie, you see it. You see every blood, limb, face getting blown off. You get hands chopped off. It is violent. It's never once mean-spirited, and I felt like that was in a good way. It's never mean-spirited, and I was very happy that it wasn't so mean-spirited. James Gunn, he knows how to have fun, but also put you in an environment where characters, they wouldn't survive, and he makes his characters feel real, which is part of the reason why his writing works so well. And that, I give James Gunn a lot of credit in the world. And not only that, it's great to have a filmmaker have his creative freedom. This is what I want to see from the DC Cinematic Universe from now on. A filmmaker having creative freedom to do what he or she wants. Whether it's James Gunn or Patty Jenkins or Andy Muschietti, who's directing the upcoming Flash movie, which I can't wait for it, the director of Black Adam. I'm excited to see more of directors getting what they want, and that's what they want, creative freedom, because no director should ever have to be restrained unless it gets too far. Sure, a studio could give him notes, but I feel like the directors should be able to do whatever the hell they want, and James Gunn, he does whatever the hell he wants here. Moving on into the acting of the movie, I definitely gotta say, there was a lot of actors in the movie. And I'm not gonna go through every single one of them, but I just want to go on to the main ones I feel personally I want to talk about. First off, we have Idris Elba as Bloodsport, aka Robert Dubois. I was very excited to see Idris Elba in this movie because Idris Elba, he's a good actor. Even in his bad movies, I think he's a very good actor. He definitely redeemed himself here from Cats, and Idris Elba is Bloodsport, Robert Dubois. You get the sense that he doesn't want to do this mission at first, but of course I'm not going to go in spoiler detail with the whole situation with him and his daughter and Amanda Waller threatening him. He decides to step up and be a leader, and I thought he was really good here. He was very badass. He's not better than Will Smith, but I think with Deathshot, but I think he gives Will Smith's Deathshot a run for his money, and to that, Idris Elba, I say he does a really great job in here. I was very impressed with him. Also, getting into it right now, we have to talk about John Cena as Peacemaker, Christopher Smith, who I was excited to see him in this role because whether you like John Cena or hate him, he is a charismatic guy, and he was one of the few things I liked in Fast and Furious 9. Even though I do not hate that movie is just very frustrating in the series. But I gotta say, John Cena as Peacemaker, he is like if you took Captain America, Deadpool, and the Sergeant for Full Metal Jacket, and someone straight out of a TV series like Wonder Woman, and make him into this character. And he is an asshole character. He's ruthless, he's agnostic, but he believes in achieving peace at any cost. But John Cena, he plays it so well that you like him. I've always liked John Cena, even in his action star roles. When he's being dramatic, I think he does fine drama, but he really excels when he is being funny, he's being comedic, and he was one of my favorite standouts in the movie, as well as Bloodsport. And I like the whole back and forth that he had with Idris Elba, and he's just so funny in the movie. John Cena, I'm looking forward to seeing his show even more in that next year, because that is going to be awesome. While we touch on the subject, we do have to talk about Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. He was a lot better here than in the first movie. Compared to the first movie, I thought Joel Kinnaman, he was good in the first movie, but here he gives the character a new blank slate. He's less jaded. He's a little sillier this time with his little shirt. He's more naive and he's more funny compared to his betrayal. And I think Joel Kinnaman, he does a really good job in this role. There's even moments where I actually cared about his character, and that all goes to James Gunn's writing. These characters are very good, and I gotta say, he's the field leader of the Suicide Squad. He does a great job in the role. I was very much impressed with him. You also got, of course, Sylvester freaking Stallone. Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. Let me just say it again. King freaking Shark. I was not ready for King Shark. I gotta say, I was not ready for how awesome he was. He is amazing in this movie. I've always, Stallone, of course, he's a legend. Even for the good movies, the bad, the where he's in the middle, he does a great job in the movie. And James Gunn does a fantastic job making this character so likable. He does bring a little bit of Baby Groot and Baby Yoda into this role as far as the character goes, but the design from the comics is there, but they made it a little bit more of a dad body. And he, of course, is a demigod shark human hybrid as a descendant of an ancient shark god, and he also has a taste for human blood. And his one words are hilarious, like "hand" or "no," and also he was funny. I very much enjoyed King Shark, and I was a little worried going into him that he wouldn't make it. And of course, without spoiling it, I'm not gonna say anything else for David Dastmalchian. I very much loved him as Abner Quill. David Dastmalchian, he is an actor you see in all these comic book movies. He was just in the Long Halloween animated film. And David Dastmalchian, he is a great actor. comedy, dramatic acting, especially with his movie All Creatures Here Below, which he directed and wrote, which starred him and Karen Gillan. And he did great. Here is Polka Dot Man. His whole... Yes, he is one of the dumbest DC characters of all time, but he's very tragic, and you have a very personal connection with this character, and I like what they did. And also, he wrote a book detailing the parts of his characters from his past, and I feel bad for him. He was one of my favorite things in the movie. He was amazing here. I want to talk about the main girl I've been waiting to talk about ever since I saw the trailers. I'm pretty sure y'all know who that is, and that is Daniela Melchior as Cleo Cazo Ratcatcher 2. Wow. For her first American film, she is amazing in this movie. Daniela Melchior, she is the heart and soul of this movie. She is the one who holds the team together, and emotionally and humorlessly. She is a villain, but she's the most calm of the villains. I also liked her with Sebastian, who was also very adorable. She is the heart of the movie, and Cleo Cazo. So much of the team's emotional and great character development and moments comes from her. And what Daniela Melchior brings to the role as Ratcatcher 2, not only she had emotional to her, she also had charm. She also had amazing, likable charisma to her. And not only that, I've seen Daniela Melchior do some stuff before. Recently, a few weeks ago, I saw her in Park Mayor, which she is a Portuguese film, but I thought she was fantastic in that film. She was really great as the character. And a little fun fact, she was the Portuguese voice for Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So, seeing her do her first big movie here, she's great. You get to know about her and her father, the equipment she has as she communicates and controls rats, including her pet Sebastian. She had a lot of emotional weight to her, and I like her little relationship and emotional bond that she had with the team, but also Bloodsport in particular, as she reminds him of his daughter. And I thought she was fantastic in the movie, and also she is also really pretty, so I'm gonna have to give a little bit of a montage for her.
Kick-ass.
And last but least, I will get into it. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie. Of course, this is Margot Robbie. She's good in the movie for the most part. I will say she's less annoying than she was in the 2016 one. I liked her in the 2016 movie, but she did have a lot of annoying moments to go with that. Birds of Prey, I thought she was good, and I heard some people say they were very disappointed with Harley Quinn, but I like what they did with Harley Quinn in this movie. They decided to put her more in the background, and not only put her more in the background to focus on new characters, but she is sprinkled throughout, and she is less crazy than she was in the last movie. And of course, there will be a tribute towards her as well. Actors like Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, Peter Capaldi as the Thinker, Pete Davidson as Blackguard. You have Flula Borg as Jacqueline, and also Taika Waititi as the original Ratcatcher. I won't spoil anything. And also Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt, who I was very impressed with her. And also, I'm not leaving out Viola Davis, because Viola Davis, when I say Amanda Waller is a straight up asshole in this movie, I mean she's a straight up asshole in the movie. She is willing to do some some fucked up, despicable shit in this movie. Even if it means threatening, of course, Idris Elba or doing what she has to protect this country. And I'm like, she's more cold-hearted here than she was in 2016. So the characters and the acting all the way around was really great. You do have to get into the action scenes. The action scenes are very well done. James Gunn, even though this is very balls to the wall action and crazy and it's bloody and violent, and the action you can see what's going on, is well edited, is well shot. You see everything that's going on in this movie, and it does not shy away from the violence, which is desperately needed. And the action here I thought was better than the first movie. The action was very well great. I love the action sequences here. It feels like a 1980s military like movie with the action and the way the style is going for it. And I think James Gunn's style in the action is very well done. In the comedy in this movie, I laughed at almost all of the comedy. There were a few jokes in here that were a little there, but James Gunn, his humor is sprinkled throughout the movie, not just with King Shark and Peacemaker, but also with Ratcatcher 2, and there's also emotional stakes. You feel like, because of the fact that he said don't get too attached with the marketing, you get a sense that anybody can die, especially with there's a couple of people like Pete Davidson in the opening sequence. Nobody is off limits here. Nobody is off limits. People die in this movie, they die. It's emotional, no matter how big or how small it is. The editing in this movie is very well done. It's tightly paced, so it gets you straight in, gets you straight out. John Murphy score, I very much love the score for this movie. It's very well done. I love the orchestra score here. It's very awesome, very interesting, and it's a very great score for the film. And also, this movie, it got me a bit emotional at points. I admit, watching this, I got a little bit emotional. Mainly because I found myself liking these characters. And considering the fact that we did come off a movie from 5 years ago with these team of characters, I found myself getting very attached and very emotional to them. I cared about most of these characters for the most part, and I enjoyed what they were doing here. Do have to honestly give credit to this movie for being as unapologetic as it was. With James Gunn, on the other hand, with this rated R that they got going on, this movie does not apologize to anyone. When people die, they die. It has the right to use all the cursing it wants. It has to use the right to get as crazy and ridiculous as it wants. But he's embracing the source material in a good way. It's not like you took a property like this and just insults it to the ground. He loves these characters, and I definitely see the passion in it. It felt like he was in his own playground. And that's what I think he very much excelled at. And just to be fair, I am going to give a little tribute for Margot Robbie, Viola Davis, and Jennifer Holland. So let's get into that. A few issues. These doesn't detract how much I like the movie, but it does stop me from giving this my highest grade. One of them is Alice Braga as Sol Soria. Good actress, but I felt like she didn't really need to be in the movie. She's only in here just for a few scenes, spread it out, and when the mission gets going, and then she's just going that way. I get her whole subplot of trying to take back Corto Maltese and get things back in order. I can get behind that, but you would think she would be playing at least a teensy bit more part into the mission, helping the team out. She's just there to help them get their disguises for when they go to the club eventually, which has an awesome cameo by a fellow Guardians of the Galaxy actress. Don't worry, it's not Gamora or Nebula. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to give it away. And then she's just there to help fight in the climax with the Freedom Fighters. And she does her job well, but I feel like you could have easily taken her out. This movie would still been the same old film. And in this movie he's average. It's a human villain. The main guy they have to go take down, he's there. He does what he has to do. He's not as bad as I expected. He's definitely a step up from the Enchantress, but could have had a little bit more to him. I'm not expecting a great character development out of a villain. I just give me a reason to hate him. Starro, I was very impressed with, despite him not being in the movie right away. I was perfectly fine with Starro not being in the movie right away. They saved him to the end, and I loved that. And his design was really great. Could have had a little more with Starro, but you know what? He was a fun villain that they went up against in the climax. And my final negative with this movie, this has nothing to do with the movie, is all you freaking people, you Snyderverse cultists.
You know what? Fuck you!
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
We live in a society of laws!
Shut up!
Oh yeah, you!
You should be ashamed of yourself!
Not impressed.
Aw, you gotta be fucking kidding me!
Listening skills!
Mr. Simpson, would you please?
Shut up, Judge!
The fuck up and listen to me. You're toxic and you're bad news.
I need to say this right now because I'm sick of this with every Warner Bros. New release they have done it with after Zack Snyder's Justice League. You did this with Mortal Kombat. You did this with Godzilla vs. Kong, and you've done it here. Stop using the freaking hashtag and stop review bombing new DC movies. It's not funny anymore. It's gotten tiresome, and it's gotten to the point where I'm just like, you people should not even be on the internet. Get over it. You got one half of the Snyder Justice League story. That should be more than enough for you. Sure, if you want to do a multiverse thing in the future, fine. But stop review bombing these movies. Just stop it, because it's not funny. It's not funny. You are clearly ruining people's experience for who wants to see the Suicide Squad. And not only that, you are review bombing a movie that has already been released to the public and people are enjoying. Enough is enough. Stop it. But at the end of the day, the Suicide Squad 2 or Suicide Squad Part 2 is an improvement over the first movie. I like the characters more. The story is much more simple. You get to have a lot of fun, emotional weight to the characters without being character development expository. The action is fun. It's unapologetic. It's balls to the wall crazy. It does have its issues. But you know what? This is about as great of a Suicide Squad movie that 2016 movie should have been. I'm not saying the 2016 movie was bad. I just felt like that movie could have been better, but this is exactly what I wanted from a Suicide Squad sequel and more. So with that being said, I'm giving the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad 2 a better than Vampire Academy. That was my thoughts. Spoiler free, by the way, of the Suicide Squad, or Suicide Squad 2. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the Suicide Squad? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere in the middle? What is your favorite DCEU movie? What is your favorite James Gunn movie? And who was your favorite character in the Suicide Squad? Comment all of that down in the comment section below. Let me know. All my social media links are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat. All of those are in the description box down below. Also, be sure to like this video, comment down below in this video, be sure to share this video, and be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified when newest videos are up like this. If you like to send money to my chime, or you want to send money to my Cash App, you can do that as well. If you would like to send any fan mail, you can do that as well. With that being said, you guys keep it cool, join the Epictasticness, and before I go, I am going to give you my favorite standouts in the movie. Number 5, Bloodsport. Number 4, Polka Dot Man. Number 3, King Shark. Number 2 is Peacemaker, and my number 1 favorite standout was Daniela Melchior's Ratcatcher 2. I'll see you guys on the 5 Geeks podcast channel for when we talk spoilers about this, and stick around because I do got a DCEU tier ranking. I decided to not do a ranking of the DCEU until those 1 or 2 movies they release every year comes out. So I'll see you guys later.